You know what you're doing.
What are you going to do when you're locked in a vacancy with nothing to do?
Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers.
Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers, and those following us on the ChrisandMikeShow.com.
Sunday.
I'm watching the percentages of the uploads. Here's the bobblehead. There's that harmonic. I'm gonna make it what? And all the crowd goes, yeah! Hey, boys and girls, welcome to the Chris and Mike Show. He's Mike, I'm Chris. And a portion of this show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for podcast platforms. Remember, we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and the ChrisandMikeShow.com. You can go there and actually watch this live on the show while we're on the show. And we're on the show today with William Chandler, a return guest, a really cool guy whose son has the flu A, which is not to be construed with, flu B, because flu A was last year. It's not COVID. It's not in anything, government conspiracy. Well, maybe, but here you go. So, William, remind our guests who you are and why you've decided to grace yourself with us again on our crazy little show that's what now, 35 countries, Mike?
We're still stuck at 30, so
30. Come on, people. Come on,
welcome
countries.
back, William. Thanks for doing this again. We're looking forward to hearing about
Thanks
your
for having me back.
new adventures, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the last time I talked to you guys, I had written a novel because I was unemployed.
Right.
And this time around, I've written a second novel because I'm still basically unemployed.
Oh.
And
wow.
I was hoping you'd be like, I got employed from the novel.
I thought that's where we were going.
I did too.
Oh, that would be great. But no, basically, I guess I'm just going to have to turn this thing into a full-time deal.
Well, that bummer. You got to write for a living. Do something you love. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that the for a living part actually comes along with the second book.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of it's a long-term game. I mean, most people don't make it overnight. They don't even make it over the first 6 months to a year. They've written a book. Now I've written 2 in 10 months.
Nice.
I've always heard it's a 5-year artistic strategy, right? You have to give it at least 5 years.
Hey, let's go with that. And I'll put out my debut album, 35 years after the band formed. So I think when it comes to the book, we're actually like ahead of schedule. If I can make it with that in 5 years, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and it's good just to see you guys again and talk to you live, because I really enjoyed that first experience, and
we did too.
I really want to read your book, William, but I'll tell you, everybody I've shown your artwork to that I know would be into that kind of stuff has just said, wow, that looks really cool. You can just see it in their eyes just from your artwork. So great choice on that with leading people like myself who love that kind of stuff. I'm into the fantasy kind of stuff. So you have to lead them into it. Like, I never got so misled. I think we talked about this last time as to when I bought my first Molly Hatchet record, right?
Right.
I was expecting to hear like Black Sabbath, and it was Southern rock, which I love dearly, but whoa, hey,
it wasn't what he was expecting.
I always thought that was kind of a misnomer with their album covers and the actual music. And I love that artist. I think it's Frank Frazetta who did those.
Yes.
And but
I have a friend who knew him personally, come to find out.
Wow.
It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, my buddy Rob, shout out to Rob.
Yeah, but you would think that you were getting like, Manowar or Sabbath or even something like Megadeth, and I mean, the artwork's cool.
It's outstanding, and the band backed it up. So with your artwork, the last time you were here, you were talking about writing this book, correct? You weren't done with it, if I remember right. So pick up where you left off, I guess, is where Chris was going for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Sweet. So, and I don't know if we had touched on it the first time, but the entire first book, the idea came from a 4-minute song that I'd written.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. And I just, that character kind of in the song, I just saw like a bigger story for him. I saw a bigger existence for him. And eventually, finally put my fingers on the laptop and knocked out the book. And I think even before I was 3/4 of the way done with it, I realized that this story also had more of a story. So I had started working out an outline and little scenes here and new characters. And before I knew it, the second book was written. And I did kind of run into that kind of sophomore jinx the same way that, a band might do.
Yeah.
And, you have this kind of, it seemed to be like lightning in a bottle the first time. So the second time was a little bit more labored, a little bit more, kind of overthought. And I was like, is this even really any good? And so I gave it to some people, and, they may or may not be biased in some instances, but I tend to value their opinions because they seem to be objective. And they read it and they're like, we love it. We think this book's great. So that kind of made me, breathe out, relax. And I published the second one. I've already got the outline for the third.
Well, and I think as an artist, we can all answer this question independently, but when someone's being honest with you, right? And when someone's paying you lip service because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Like you said, obviously, this is somebody you have a personal relationship with. So I think it's pretty obvious when someone's just saying, it's good,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And these people that I did let read it, they don't have any problem usually telling me something that might, sting a little or hurt my feelings. And
you need
to
those
actually
people
get
in
that
your life.
Yeah. To get that positive feedback was a good jumping point. I still don't think I'm anywhere kind of near as polished as I need to be. I kind of write a different way. I write in a different method. I don't sit and lock myself away and write. I just kind of write when I can. So
right. See, that's how. Yeah. No, but that's how I was when I wrote the books I wrote. Not the grand scale, but you have to write when the moment strikes you. If you force yourself to write, it's not going to come out the way you want it to come out.
Exactly.
And I think that goes for any artist for sure. That's the part that people don't understand is you can't just go, okay, go be a writer and write a great book. Go be a great guitar player and become the next Eddie Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Write me the next. Not even that. Write me the next hit song. Boy, that's easy. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's probably even harder. Even though the actual skill set you might not need to be as an accomplished a musician or a vocalist or an instrumentalist. A hit song it just has this weird kind of chemistry to it that makes it a hit song.
And you don't know it's a hit song when you write it. Like you have no idea. You just write a song because it sounds good to you and your bandmates. So you'll write a story that you love, that you think this is a great story. This is gonna take off. People are gonna love this, and then you go one or the other way. It's just there's so much luck involved with the creative process, and especially the world of entertainers.
The timing has to be right. In addition to all of that, right?
Yeah,
definitely. I think for me, I kind of, write the books the way that I wrote music, which is, I have to get off on it first. First and foremost, I'm writing it in my bedroom or the rehearsal studio for me. Not for anyone else. And if they like it, that's just like the biggest kind of cherry on top bonus that it could be. And I feel the same way about the book. So when I started writing the first one, and, friends and family were making suggestions like, you should do this.
Right.
I'm like, that's no, I'm not going to do that.
That's usually when I get real quiet and I'm like, okay, I can't tell anybody what I'm doing right now because they don't understand. Right.
Exactly.
That actually cements it for me, William, that I'm on the right track. Right. I know what I'm doing now because you're trying to poke holes in my boat and
to suggest something, a different direction.
Right.
Yes.
That's it. See, when I wrote the Legend of Charles E. Lang, Nikki's in it because I wrote it with her kind of intertwined in it. So I had to have her inject her thoughts and ideas because some of the stuff I was thinking wasn't making sense. So it was good for me to have her. Like one of the times I wrote it, we were driving up north for something, and I legit had my iPad out and I was typing my note section while she was driving for those 2 hours. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then I would read it to her. So it was kind of fun dynamic of her awesome. And I talking about my silly idea I had years ago. And then kind of, and she's never read the book. She's like, why would I read the book? I'm in it. You know what I mean? It's like she's
Because you're in it.
she listened to Nemesis every time we rehearsed the stuff, but I guarantee if we put out a CD, she'd listen to it once. And that would be it because she lived it. So it's people give her shit that she's never read the book. She's like, but I was with him the whole time he wrote it, basically. And it's like, I lived part of that life with him anyway, you know? So it's interesting dichotomy when you do have people that they think they're helping and they're not. And then you have somebody bouncing ideas and sharing your thoughts to make it that much better. So it's all how you approach it, you know, which is cool.
Two movie scenes just popped in my head from that little 30 seconds. And one was Pee Wee Herman in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't have to see it, Dottie. I lived it.
Right.
And the other one goes to the people with suggestions. It reminds me of the guy in Amadeus. He's watching Amadeus play, and he's such a, you know, just a brilliant prodigy. And the guy, I think he was a king or chancellor or someone, he was like, there's too many notes.
It's too busy.
That's one of my favorite lines, William.
That's a great movie too. Tom Hulce, right? Tom Hulce.
Yes, Tom Hulce.
Hulce. Great.
Yeah,
great movie. Great actor, man. Great actor.
Absolutely.
I think what's funny when it comes to me, like writing kind of different, it's a vampire story. Cool. And it's going to be a trilogy, and it won't. This guy's story won't go past the third book.
That's good.
Like I'm not gonna write 10 books about the same guy.
Rambo 5. No, what? Rambo 7 now? Like what the fuck? Rambo's dead, man.
Exactly. Like there's no way. I can't even get out of bed.
How do you know that though, William? Was that just a conscious choice, or this is just how you know it's going to happen? Did you mean for that to happen, or did it just happen naturally?
I think that when I first got done with the first book, I was like, I can kind of see it going this much farther.
Okay.
And it just kind of didn't want to stretch it out past its. I didn't want to have kind of a Rambo 7 or a Rocky 7,
right?
Where he's fighting at 60 years old, and you know, like Ric Flair's thinking about coming out for one more match.
Right.
Like, at 74, I don't get it, but
I don't either.
But so I just kind of pieced it together, just kind of like did a connect the dots outline in my head of where this guy starts and this is where I see his finish. And when people ask, you know, why is this book different? Because it's a vampire book. There have been maybe millions of vampire novels.
Yeah.
Like, and thousands, hundreds a day get published. For me, they, as you know, like what's in it, what makes it different. I think for me, it's what's not in it. And what's not in it is coffins and stakes through the heart. And like the perception that like every single vampire is like a goth, androgynous, you know, bisexual, heathenistic vampire. Like,
right on. That's awesome.
Like, you know, my guy, he worries about his phone dying and not being able to charge it.
Okay.
Because that's his only link to what was a regular world.
Yeah.
Is a phone. And he worries about, you know, where am I gonna live? Where's my next meal gonna come from? Like you know, he's got real world problems in a very underworld existence. And that first book, if nothing else, is him learning about life after he can't really live it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's him kind of figuring out everything he already missed out on just by a chance encounter with someone who turns him into this thing he just thought was a movie myth or a book myth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from there, then everything goes different. And then in this second book, and I'll show you the book right here.
Nice. Oh, right on.
I love that cover, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I worked with a guy in Italy to make that. And
oh, no shit.
Yeah, this dude named Mirko. His you know, his handle is inside the publishing page of the book. And we would just bounce ideas. I told him what I wanted. I gave him a rough draft. Really crappy AI put together rough draft. And I was like, I need you to go from here. And I gave him all the details. He gave me one go at it. I was like, nah, okay, good, but I need this moved and this changed, and until we got to the point where we're at, and I loved it. I think it came out great. I probably will reach out to him for the third one if he's still doing it, and I hope he's still doing it by that point, because I already know exactly what that book cover is going to look like.
Nice.
I knew what these ones were going to look like before the finished product. And
who did those?
Can we get the book? Can we get the books on Amazon or the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So right now the paperback version of both are on Amazon, and the ebook version of the first book is on Amazon. And then next week or March 2nd, the paperback will go on Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
You can also get both books at a company called Book Spy, where the author actually gets a little bit more royalty if you buy it through that, but the person purchasing the books has to pay for shipping and handling.
Gotcha.
So so they end up paying more for the book than if they bought it through Amazon.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to force anyone to go here and buy this book here just because it gives me a couple more dollars.
Right.
Because really that's all it gives me is a couple more dollars.
I was trying to share it, but for some reason Riverside is not letting me share my screen. So it is on there. You have the House of the Winged God.
Yeah.
The paperback's $14.99. You can order it today. You get it in 2 days, and then the hardcover for The Haunting. Is that you?
See, no, I think that's
a different William.
It's like
Chandler.
a recommended book. Like
so there you are. So House of the Black Moon, that's yours. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the middle initial there. So the House of the Black Moon.
That was the first one. Yeah,
and that's a nice $5 thing on Kindle right there, man. Not bad at all. And then you have the paperback for $15.
Exactly. And so I kind of did a little edit job to that first book. And now when you order that one, that is the second edition of the book.
Oh, cool.
Some people who might read the first one and the second one, they might not even see the difference. And other people will know exactly where I fixed something because they were quick to point out, hey, you messed up right here. Like you added a letter in this word, or you forgot this word. And it's, in self-publishing, that's going to happen. You try to mitigate those instances when you can. So I went ahead and corrected that a little bit.
Cool.
There it is. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And
it's like, you buy it. You go write a book, man. Shut up.
Exactly. Well said.
Right. But the second book, it takes this guy's story, and if you thought that he was
am I sharing the first book, William?
No, that's the second book.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was sharing the right book.
That's the second one.
Okay.
And feel free to share the first one, because I've been real honest with people online and on social media.
What's the title of the first one?
House of the Black Moon.
Okay.
Or if you just type in William X Chandler, then you'll pull up his books.
Exactly.
There you go. Now click on the book, Mike, and see what happens. So I think it'll there you go. It brings it more up into the screen like that.
All right.
Right. And that should be, I think that's the Kindle version.
Yep.
The paperback of the first edition is unpublished. So if you try to buy that, it should give you the second edition.
There's the paperback.
I don't know the weird kind of ins and outs of that, because when I go on to the author page and do the edits and have a book published, it'll show me that the first edition of the paperback is unpublished, and it shows me the second edition. So I'm hoping that that's what it tells the person trying to buy it, that, so we'll see. But if this guy thought his world was small and got bigger as he moved across the American Southwest, in the second book, he travels way out of his comfort zone, and he hits 2 spots in Europe that take up basically the entire book.
Well, and Europe is the home of the vampires, right? That's where they all started.
Yeah, and depending on your vampire historian,
right,
they'll tell you it was in this place, or no, it was in this place. And of course, Dracula is kind of in the Transylvania part of Romania,
right?
And but of course, I mean, that wasn't even the first vampire novel or a vampire story. And what's funny about the character in my books is that, all he has to go on is, Dracula and Blade and vampire movies that he didn't realize that he probably would have had to pay more attention to until he became one. And then after he does become one, he realizes it doesn't matter anyway, because everything he learned in those movies isn't true or real at all, because my mythology of the vampire is completely different. And it's almost like dispelling what you think you know about something.
But that's why it's an interesting twist, right? It's not you're going to go into it thinking, it's kind of like they put out Nosferatu last year, right? Another remake of it. It's like, okay, really? Again? Like, come on. Like, come on, man. Like, it's no matter how you spin it, it's the same story.
You have to do something like Abe Lincoln Vampire Killer.
Right. Like Abe Lincoln was a vampire killer. Like who would have thought that? Because I didn't read that in history books, but when the documentary came out, I'm like, holy shit. He killed vampires. It's it's the greatest thing in the world.
Saw it. I went and I saw it with my own eyes. Chris Dunn was telling the truth. Abe Lincoln killed vampires.
Yeah.
That should be in his presidential library. Like where's the wall?
It should have a wall with him
dedicated to that.
Right. Because it's part of our history. It's part of the legacy of Lincoln, man. It's like how many presidents are that badass? That they can go kill vampires. I don't think people realize that. So you have to, when you see these documentaries, man, you have to really like wrap your head around it. Like, number one, how they got all the cinematography and stuff back then is amazing, right?
Exactly.
It was just that
really awesome
cinematography. Stuff. Right. But that goes back to the time travel, and that actually exists because, you see pictures with people with cell phones in the 1900s. Well, how's that possible? Well,
how's that possible?
How do they film Lincoln killing vampires? It's,
Have you seen like that famous picture of like a guy? It looks like he's holding basically an iPhone.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
I don't know. And nowadays, someone
you could do
fake
it.
That,
right.
It would be so quick.
Exactly.
But that picture's been around for over a decade.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's weird. Now, someone should have their old VHS tape of where they taped that pay-per-view fight and see if they can find that dude.
Right.
And then we would dispel the myth, forever. But it's very, very odd.
I wish I could think of the guy's name. Rogan has him on a lot. He debunks a lot of this stuff that people believe as fact.
Right.
Damn,
if I
was
could
on the
just
tip of my tongue.
If I could round up all the Bigfoot videos.
Oh yeah.
And just
that's
throw
the
them
one
all
that
collectively
I want
in the trash.
That's the one I want to believe in the most.
Really?
Man,
I just not believe in. That's the one I want to be real the most, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny with those because it's like they all followed this one pattern. You got the guys just filming trees for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
And then in the distance, they see something that may or may not be a humongous furry animal.
Well, like a lot of people don't know that famous Patterson footage, that guy was a con man. He actually went to jail for not returning or not paying for the actual camera that he filmed the footage with to begin with. And
oh wow.
He rented the gorilla suit or whatever, and that's all been debunked a million times.
And you still have just a shitload of people that will never think that's not a real video. And they give you all the reasons why it's a female Bigfoot.
Oh, those people are adorable.
Man, I used to believe in everything.
I've been down the conspiracy, almost every conspiracy road.
Or just in like every kind of supernatural kind of mythical, like Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, aliens abducting people. And
I still think aliens abduct people. I still think that's legit.
I don't think that.
I think those people exist. I think those people are suffering from some kind of
remember
delusion?
It went down in Arizona years and years ago, like and
I was there.
They were straight up like lumberjack, like worker type guys that were not.
Oh, you're talking about the old one,
like Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Yes, yes, like that shit. That to me, that you can't make that stuff up. I don't think to the level that they could describe it in detail. Like, so I think it happens on some level. I don't think it's. I mean, I think there's aliens and shit more than we think because the government hides shit from everybody for so long, and now it's kind of everything's coming full circle now. But because we're so desensitized, nobody gives you shit. The internet's ruined us all.
Where are you? Where are you at on the moon landing, William?
Yeah,
I don't have any reason to not believe that.
I agree.
Do you believe that they faked the footage?
I want to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think that we went to the moon. I don't think any of that footage is real.
Oh, I see. So
I really
it could be both can be true.
Yeah, they hired Stanley Kubrick to do a lot of the behind the scenes
imagery.
Kind of. They needed B-roll kind of stuff. I'm not sure that the B-roll was B-roll. I think it was all A-roll because how do you make it through the Van Allen radiation belt? Kodak claims they didn't make any kind of special film, or NASA always said we had special film in a special case,
and you're like, how do you make special film when you have no idea if it's going to survive or not?
And I'm sure there's people are going to be slamming me on this going, no, dude, you're totally wrong. And here's why. And I don't know all the details, but I really believe in my heart of hearts that they went there because there's too many people that were involved that would have had to have kept that secret for way too long. And people have big mouths, right?
And they brought stuff back. It's they brought
some of the stuff that they claim that they brought back was
Mm-hmm.
proven to be bullshit. Like they gave a moon rock to, you can Google who it was. A president gave a moon rock to another president, and that president had it tested, and it was
tried to pawn it.
Yeah, they got it in like next to Chris over there, Death Valley.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, some of that stuff's been proven to be bullshit.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm glad you said Death Valley because there's, and I'm going to veer back to the book. There's an actual section. There's 2 chapters where they're in Death Valley.
Sweet.
Where they just
right
go
on.
camping.
Right on.
And I can't believe I didn't mention this before the first time. There's 1 or 2 chapters where he's actually going through Glendale, Arizona.
Oh,
I lived there for quite some time.
you did.
Oh, wow.
That's where we had band practice. I would drive an hour to go to band practice.
That's how big
I remember
the valley
doing
is.
the 45 minutes to band practice all across, across the Metroplex.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this guy Davis, he starts off in Abilene, Texas. Now, I don't know if Nemesis ever played Abilene, Texas.
We didn't play Abilene.
There's you and a million other bands did not ever play Abilene.
Nope.
But
But I know the song.
On their behalf, that place has grown just like a lot of Texas. It's what used to be kind of middle of nowhere country has grown into, almost big cities now. And so I'm not going to trash them at all. Cause I placed my character in that city.
That's cool.
But I just kind of followed this map where he would follow this band because he's not looking to be a groupie. He's looking
Okay, so we're on this topic right here. So what's your feeling of Garth Brooks being a serial killer and killing women every place he goes on tour? Because there's a conspiracy that women disappear.
Are you kidding
Garth
me?
Brooks? No, you haven't heard this?
I've never heard
we talked
this.
about it. Yeah,
I've heard
women. There's women that always disappear during his wherever he goes. But then think about it. A roadie would be one of the greatest serial killer opportunists of all time because he's in a different city night after night after night.
Night after night. Yeah.
And
just like a truck driver.
Right. And it's like, yeah. So you grab a chick and, do your deed and then, I don't know, dispose the body somewhere. Then you're off to the next city. And roadies are, they're invisible. You don't see them. Their entire life is invisible.
Right. No one cares about those guys. They don't know those guys. A few road crews have, risen to this kind of notoriety, like Pantera's road crew.
But people still don't know. You couldn't name one member of it.
Nope.
They're just at work every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want people to know we are not disparaging roadies in any way. We're just saying you're the behind. I like being the behind the scene guys.
Yeah, I'd love to have a roadie come on the show and tell us how things work and how all the stuff that's involved with setting a stage.
All we're saying is you guys get to be invisible in the coolest environment ever, all the time.
Yeah, imagine Metallica's roadie.
I always thought that about I always thought that about the actual musicians. Like I had an idea for that same kind of story that, people claim about Garth Brooks when I
Yeah.
was a teenager. I
Yeah.
was like, what if this rock star,
Mm-hmm.
just goes from town to town killing, and in
That would
that
be
book, one of the
crazy.
reasons this vampire tells my guy, the reason I picked you, the reason I pick everyone, and no one even cares about them a week later, is because they're basically the losers of this world, and no one's gonna remember them after they're gone. And she's like, I'm sorry you got turned into a vampire. The event was supposed to be that I fed on you, you were my meal, and then that was the end of you. And she's like, my bad for for what happened instead. And hijinks ensue.
Kind of like Interview with the Vampire when one of them turns that little girl, Kirsten Dunst's character. What have you done? What have you done? You needed a playmate. Here's a playmate.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not really apples to apples.
No, well, of course not. It's and then you realize that later, like she's stuck at that age for the rest of eternity until she gets burned up in the fire or the sun.
Yeah.
That would be the most just annoying thing. You're 468 years old and you have a body of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
That would be
actually, she was younger, I think. Yeah, she was younger. She had played with dolls and shit. So that would just
that would
at least make me legal age, man. You turn me. Wait till I get 18 in a day, then turn me.
Well, over 21, preferably.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to be turned at like 7 or 8 would just absolutely.
No, I'm with you.
Man.
That would be hell.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch True Blood?
Oh yes,
loved it.
Yes.
So
good show.
There's the redhead teenager on that show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She gets turned, and then she loses her virginity.
Right.
And the very next time that she has sex, she loses her virginity.
Right.
And the very next time, because it grows back.
That would also suck.
And so she is so pissed off that this is going to happen every single time with a guy that she's in love with.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I think it almost makes her want to kill herself right then and there.
Yeah.
And kill the guy.
Yeah.
Which is another horrible part about being a woman. It's like, our first time is just as good as every other time after that.
Yeah.
And they have to go through this horrible one time. Or
it's one conversation
maybe horrible
that me
10
and my wife
times.
have where she's like, I believe in God and I love God. She's like, but I don't know if he loves women. She's like, because this sucks and it sucks to be a woman. And I'm like,
well, I'm going through this thing. We're Nikki and I have been married 30 years, and so we're going to have our marriage blessed in the Catholic Church because as a Catholic, we've been living in sin for 30 years, which I just think is funny.
Right.
But I was going somewhere with that tied to with that. Oh, so everything that we go these good classes on Tuesday nights, and when they start talking about different things, it's always Eve's fault. Always. It's always Eve's fault, because had it not been for Eve tempting Adam, none of this would happen. The original sin wouldn't exist. It's all Eve's fault. So when it comes down to it, God's a chauvinist, and he's like, it's the woman's fault. I have to blame somebody. So he made a woman to blame her. So your wife's not wrong at all.
I totally see that logic.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they kind of get a bad rap throughout the Bible. Like,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
From the very first woman.
They get
all
the way down.
A lot of blame. And
I'm the kind of guy that looks up and says, you designed this shit.
Right. Yeah. It's that whole thing. Well, you're this. Well, I'm made in his image.
You made it.
Like
I'd say if there's flaws.
Right. Okay. Well, he's flawed because I'm flawed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm trying to see so many.
Right.
I'm trying to reach out and get so much more knowledge and information about religion and Christianity than I've ever had in my entire life. But I mean, it's hard.
I just had this conversation with my mother over lunch, and not in depth or deep, or we view a lot of things the same ways, and obviously we're two different people, so we have different views on things. But I just there's certain things that don't make sense, and I have to, Chris and I've talked about it 100 times. For me to be happy, I have to just believe what I believe, and
right.
I don't know what's right and what's wrong. So, I just want everybody to understand when we're talking about this, for sure, these are our opinions. There's a million ways to look at it. Whatever you do to make you happy, do that. Right?
Yeah.
As long as it's not hurting anybody else. I always have to throw that out there because there's crazy fucking people.
Yeah. I've always tried to live by the kind of the philosophy that you can do and be anything you want in this world, or in this country at least.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting others. And I personally try to just now, especially nowadays, I'm a little bit kinder. So I want to be a reflection of kindness and love and respect for people. And I've never been religious, but it was Christmas Eve. I actually prayed, to what I don't know.
Yeah.
And since that day, I've had this kind of peace.
Nice.
And I came up with this mantra that I repeat almost daily to myself. And that's, I will not be consumed by the darkness.
Nice.
I will be the light that defeats, devours, and destroys the darkness.
Sounds like a vampire.
Right.
I like that, though.
That is cool, though. That's cool. I like it.
Thanks.
My main goal is the same, William, is to be kind to people. Chris wears that shirt a lot. Be kind. That is my mantra, because I became a horrible person for a while, and I was super negative and my way or the highway bullshit, and all that is so ridiculous. It's like, I believe that somehow we're all connected. We're a hive mind. We just don't know it. We're just like the bees, but we just don't. They understand it. They work swimmingly together, and we try to push ourselves apart all the time, right? We don't understand that we're all energy. We're all connected somehow. We're humming along at a frequency. We're spinning at whatever it is, 60-some thousand miles an hour, hurtling through space on a spaceship, but you think you're standing on a flat surface, It's, people don't look up anymore. It's like there's space out there. There's a whole universe. It's like, and we're quibbling over, not us, but us as human beings are quibbling over who's right and wrong about the creator, that nobody even, it's just, we're like rats in a cage sometimes.
It's faith. It's blind faith.
Yeah,
that's all. Every religion. There's three. So we talked about this last week.
I need some proof of something.
Right. I pulled this clip up, William, of Ricky Gervais talking about, he's an atheist, right?
Right.
And he's like, so there's 3,000 gods in all of the world. There's 3,000 gods. If you look at all the different countries, just at the end of the day, there's 3,000 gods. Right. So he's like, I just don't believe in one of your gods. So
he says, I believe in one less than gods. You do.
I believe in one less than you do. That makes me an atheist.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the thing. I mean, think about it. The Native Americans, and nothing but love, but historically, look at all the gods they have. The god, the wind and fire and rain and the spirits, their spirits, which is cool, but that's still, like, I kind of like that kind of thing, like the whole spirit world, like Young Guns, when they took the peyote and they're riding the horses.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Why can't they see us?
I want to know what that is.
We're in the spirit world, asshole. They can't see us.
I've seen that world a million times, and I want to know what, not a million, more like 5 or 10, but
sure.
I want to know what that is more than I want to know what anything. There's somebody behind you. I don't want you to.
I said that.
It's the ghost of Tom Joad.
No, we did this. One of the first times we did this show, somebody walked behind me, and
this is my job.
Yeah. And Mike's job is to, because I'm in.
I could have been killed.
He's observer.
I have my thing faced to my. Usually, you can see my other window, so then you can see somebody go. Whoo. So yeah, it's Mike's job to, like, hey dude, there's somebody behind you. So that way I don't get it, because we're so popular that I could be assassinated on the show. We're starting to get hate. We're starting to get hate keyboard warriors.
That's how you've made it.
Which is cool. No, It's fantastic.
We love it.
It's great because that means we're doing something. So I'm just like, thank you for watching and listening. Have a wonderful day.
I love
like they'll slam
comment.
us for something. I'm like, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Which is gonna drive them nuts.
And I know when I comment or post on, like, one of my community groups, on Facebook or whatnot, that eventually I've already had a few kind of like almost smart ass comments, on something I've said.
Kill them with
And
kindness if you're going to comment.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the day where someone just really unloads on me.
Oh, we
And
got
then
it.
we'll see
We're morons, William.
if I actually have matured and I actually have become a better person, because I think I have.
I have.
But you never know until you're in a challenging situation. One thing I do know that's different about me, and if you go to my website, I don't know if you were able to check out the website before this session. It's the thewilliamxavier.com.
Can you not pull stuff up, Chris?
I can't.
Okay.
I wrote a blog where I talked about how I spent most of my life being selfish.
Oh, okay.
And how selfishness, you know, in and of itself isn't altogether bad, but I definitely carried the most negative aspects of it through my life and in my heart for a long time.
Yeah.
And I realized I was becoming different once I had, right there. If you look at the blog, if you click on blog, you'll see that one, A Charitable Heart. Yeah, finally. And
nice, dude.
Thanks. Becoming a husband first and then a father definitely took away a lot of that selfishness for me.
Yeah.
But it was when I decided to write a book and to actually publish it, it was like a no-brainer for me to say that I'm going to always donate at least 10% of my royalties from each and every book to a specific charity.
Cool.
So for House of the Black Moon, it's Blood Cancer United that I got involved with through work.
Go back to the
former employer.
Not to interrupt you. Go back to the homepage, Mike, and keep scrolling down. It's pretty interesting what you see there. Keep going. Oh.
Hey, those guys look familiar.
Hey, those are two morons. There's one
they
moron
look almost like
and
you
two
guys.
morons. That's what they told us on Facebook.
So yeah, and if you click on learn more, you'll see what I wrote about you guys. And
right on.
I think it's pretty positive. Yeah.
That's
and so
awesome. Thank you.
With that first book, I'm donating to Blood Cancer United. With this second book,
cool,
10% of every book sale is going to go to Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, right on.
And I think the 20 years ago me wouldn't have that wouldn't have been a thought in my mind.
Right.
And now it's like not a thought in my mind to try to give back.
Yeah.
And right now, like, I have nothing to give back. I have like almost $0. But I'm going to make sure that any money that comes from this labor of love actually gets filtered out through love as well. So
cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out with this and how much I can actually donate, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Thanks, man.
That was probably the hardest lesson I learned was when I was a little kid, you know, and I would want to be revengeful, or, you know, my temper would get the better of me. And I'm talking like when I'm a teenager. My Grammy told me something that took me a long time to put into practice. She said, when someone's disrespecting you, kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
Right.
They hate that shit. And then smile
that's
at
why
them, right?
That's why I replied the way I did to the guys on our page, because a year, 2 years ago, I'd been like, "Fuck you, man! I would have started a fight." And I'm like,
she's right though. I'm like, where do you diffuse? You take all their power away because they want to fight with, like Chris just said. If you start going, "Fuck you" and "fuck him," "fuck that," and, you know, then that's what happens. Then tempers flare. You rage out of control, and nothing gets solved. If we just end it right here with, you know, that's your opinion and I have mine. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Right.
And what are they going to say?
Yeah,
exactly. With this, you know, online rage bait kind of society we live in now, like Chris going off like that is exactly what someone wants.
Yes.
Right.
And and to be able to kill him with kindness like that is, I think, you know, the ultimate fight ender.
Yep.
But also being like the better man at the same time.
Yeah.
What we talked last time, and I forgot what it was you said, but then you apologize. You're like, I need to let you know. You're like, I don't have a filter.
I don't.
And, you know, and some people don't like me and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can't even
And-
imagine what that would have been.
I wanted to circle back to that because I used to not have a filter
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
And my wife still thinks that I could definitely use a much stronger muzzle on my mouth, especially around the kids, because I mean, for the longest time, we were so good about what we said in front of them
Yep.
and how we acted in front of them. And as they've gotten older and been, corrupted by their little asshole friends at school, they have, they've basically learned to be the no filter little versions of me.
Mm.
And I have to not join in on that because I know what it feels like, and it feels good to be able to just spew it out.
Yeah.
And I have to try to rein myself in as to not further corrupt them. But the teenagers nowadays are so much more advanced when it comes to what they've been exposed to and what they know.
Mm-hmm.
That
We didn't have the internet.
No.
We had to go search. If we wanted to know
Yeah.
things, like we've talked about this on this podcast, like when I first moved to Phoenix, if you wanted to know what a porn movie was, you had to go to a store and face someone and give them money, and they gave you a movie, right? You had to make that
Right.
commitment. You got in your car, you drove there, you went to a building with no windows and, greasy fucking, well, unless you're Matt Farrell, and then it was the hottest chick in the world in a wheelchair. But
Right.
in my case, it was a
Farrell.
greasy fat dude behind the counter eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew out of a 2-liter bottle. What do you need?
that's
Like, I just want to buy this movie and go fucking kill
could it be
myself.
possible that we went to the same exact store?
But
See,
nowadays,
I can
they
live
get on the,
vicariously through you guys because that never happened to me.
dude.
That's never been my jam.
I'm sorry you
Yeah.
missed out on this opportunity
It's
because
okay.
there's something
It's okay.
very romantic about
It's okay.
it after
I'm
it's all
good.
said and done.
Well, and kids my age, when I
Scott
was
took me
their
to the peep
age-
show. Sorry to interrupt you.
I
Scott
know, you
Connor
told me
took me
that.
to the peep show.
You told me that. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
don't
when I
ever
was
take me
their
to that
age,
fucking
we had
place
to
again.
hope that someone's dad had, a stack of magazines or a stack of
Right.
videos.
Yes.
Right.
There was this weird kind of like almost the light shining down when you found something like in an alley or in the in the park, in the forest. They
Or in our
have it
case, literally down by the river.
down by the river. But they actually have all this just, I mean,
At their fingertips
filth
now.
at their fingertips.
Yep.
And by the time they've even made it out of elementary school, they know
they know before that.
everything.
Yeah.
And you know what
They
the
think they
sad
know
part is
everything.
they
Yeah.
find a lot of it by accident because they type in. I'm trying to think of a phrase that would lead you to porn.
Skylar,
but-
when Skylar was a kid, she typed in something for Britney Spears and boom, porn. Like
Yeah.
full,
Oh, wow.
full hardcore, stuff. I'm like, what the hell is that type thing? And she's freaking out. But I mean, my wife's a teacher, and you'd be shocked if I
Oh,
told you the
yeah.
grade level and what they already know. It
I wouldn't
doesn't-
be because I'm right there.
No. Yeah, it's everywhere. The stuff that grade level does
Right.
is mind-boggling. Stuff that all three of us would never even thought of
Not
until we
at
got
that
to like mid sophomore, junior in high school.
If
Easy.
then,
Right.
for sure, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
That just
freaky,
trips
man.
me out.
Oh, big time. And the thing that sucks about it is if you're not open with your children about the birds and the bees, let's call it, then that's where they go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
then that becomes their
being
version.
open right. Instead of open and explaining and making sure they understand how to like my son, when he was young, I caught him on YouTube and I reeled him back. I'm like, hey dude, I thought this was great. Is this the type of woman you want to bring home to meet your mother? But it made him understand I mean, that's part of life on some levels, but the other side of life is respect and,
Right.
and the love and the beauty of love and finding that connection. Our kids struggle because Nick and I have such a great relationship. We've been together for so long and we're
Mhm.
so obvious and transparent with everything with them that it's hard to find that now. Skylar luckily found her husband. They met on an app, which is cool. And 2 years long distance. They lived, an hour 45 minutes apart from each other, and they made it work.
Oh, wow.
And here they are now with their son Trip, and then Michael's taken Anthony as his own, and it's awesome. But Jake is a guy, so he's stuck in that app world where it's just all girls want to do is get laid.
Right.
Where?
I don't know.
Oh, was that out loud?
But you know what I mean? It's just, you can't, you just don't have that anymore that we had growing up. Like when I first met Nikki, it was, I opened a door to a group home I was going to do some stuff for, and there she was on the chair. It was before the internet, all kind of shit. And then I had to have the balls to ask her out, and then she blew me off for 2 months,
Right.
And so it's that kind of thing. You don't have that anymore in the world today. Everybody's text and emails, they won't pick up the phone, and it's sad. It's sad for the future of relationships, because you don't have that internal connection anymore. You don't have that intimate connection, because you just like this. We're all in 3 different places in the world right now.
Exactly.
I mean, this is as transparent as you can get, but if we're in a room together, the reactions will be different. The conversation will be different. The flow will be different. Laughter would be, you know what I mean? So there's good things and bad things that come to technology. That's my soapbox. I'm sorry. Squirrel.
No, that's why we're here.
But no, you hit it on the head. There are good things and bad things about technology.
Yeah.
And sometimes the pluses seem to outweigh the minuses.
Yep.
And sometimes they don't. Like, I can't go on the internet without thinking that 90% of the videos and photos I look at are actually fake.
They are. Yeah,
That they're
that's
not
what
real.
sucks.
Yeah.
I know, that sucks.
That
now,
part's
man.
starting to suck something
Yes,
terrible.
it is. It is.
Yeah,
It really, yeah.
What's more sad about that is the number of people who actually believe that they're real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And without doing, just a damn bit of common sense and research.
Right.
And
Read
sharing and reposting.
Just read underneath the picture. Read, because it tells
call
you.
the three of us affectionately forward thinkers, right? So I put people in categories of human beings. We would be in a category of human being that I would call a forward thinker. We're a dying breed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People are easily led, man. Just if you believe that James Hetfield had a conversation with Donald, that's one I read recently, that James Hetfield recently had a conversation with Donald Trump. Maybe he did. Yeah. But then what it said underneath it was like, no, that conversation never happened.
That's the thing that they do. Exactly. They post something, and then you think, but then you go to the very bottom line, and in this scenario, it'd be great if this actually happened. But people don't go all the way down and read it. They just see the picture, and boom. We had a guy slam us on one of our things that Hetfield, one of the songs, Fade to Black's not about suicide. We sat here and watched the clip on YouTube.
I heard the story 100 times from the man himself saying all our equipment got stolen right before either their first major gig on Megaforce Records, or it was a travesty. And he said, all I wanted to do was slit my wrists or throat or whatever. Yeah, it's totally about, because he reached the pinnacle of where he wanted to be, and they went to the van or the trailer and all their shit was gone, and they're like, oh, man.
Can you imagine if that was actually the pinnacle of Metallica?
And at that moment for James Hetfield, it was
1984, right before Ride the Lightning.
Yep.
He probably thought there's no way we'll ever get bigger than this.
Of course.
How we get to release a second album.
I've heard him say on A Year and a Half, and everybody that's watched it, he said, we're 5 or 4 of the luckiest guys that ever lived. We just never gave up. This could be you too. Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing special about us. Individually, we're not that great of musicians. I've heard him say that. But collectively, when you put us in a room, something magical happens.
And I believe him to some extent, but he is like,
you got to be humble, man.
The best
he is the
rhythm
best rhythm guitar player for that kind of music.
Yep.
Him and Dave, I'll give Dave credit to, because Dave invented those spider chords that we all still use today, right? Here's how to move quickly from one chord to the next. You just bump your finger up one. Nobody would have thought of that till he did. So I give them both credit.
I think those guys are 1A and 1B.
For sure.
And James kind of focused more on the vocals. And Dave focused more on the intricate and complex riffs, because
And I'm going to agree with you there. And I'm also going to say that Metallica focused more on having a little bit of a swing to their music, where it wasn't just because Lars is not a good enough drummer to do what Nick Menza did, right? Nick Menza was a human metronome. Lars plays by the seat of his pants, and love him or hate him, Metallica would not be that band, and they would have never done what they did if anybody else sat behind that drum kit.
Exactly. It's just the chemistry that those four guys have together. And, you know, they've been lucky to have it with the guys that came after Cliff Burton. And just, I mean, you don't have metal as it exists without, you know, Sabbath, Metallica, and I'd say Pantera.
No, and I'd use myself and you and Chris as an educated party, because we were those people. We played with people that meant that much to us, and we understand that chemistry. Without him fronting our band, without Scott playing the drums, without, you know, he wants to be called William now. I always want to call him Rick. Right. Without William playing, those four guys made that band, right? We were in the same boat. I'm an average to good guitar player at best. I'm not breaking any new ground. I just want to be a good songwriter. That was always my goal, right? I don't really care about playing other people's music. That's not my shtick.
Me either. Yep.
I love writing my own stuff. I love having my own style. And, you know, Chris gives me the compliment. I would have never said this out loud, but basically when we started that band, the whole sound of that part of the Valley started to change. It just did.
Right.
When I got there in 1993, the Gin Blossoms were the biggest thing going. They had just played on David Letterman. I loved that band. They wrote a lot of great songs, and unfortunately, their guitar player / songwriter was a horrible drug addict or alcoholic or something. I think both, maybe.
Yeah.
And they had to let him go, and after that, they couldn't write another song. He was the vehicle that made that. That's why the Gin Blossoms just
petered out right away.
I wish I could remember that guy's name.
I remember they had a song on the that 1993 Kiss tribute album. I think they did Christine 16.
You're right.
On that album.
Good memory. Damn.
Thanks. And but no, I'm right. I feel exactly the same way you do when it comes to my own guitar and songwriting. I never really felt the need or even the desire to learn other people's songs.
I don't begrudge anybody for doing that. I've always felt the need to explain myself, but like we had Don on and he said, hey, play us some whatever. And, you know, Chris will defend me all the time. He's like, he's not that kind of guitar player, you know?
Right.
It was important for me to have my own voice. And as a young, inexperienced, very nervous, not very confident guitar player, I didn't want to be influenced by other people either, right? I felt like if I learned all these songs, then I would sound like George Lynch or sound like Eddie Van Halen, or, you know, that's how little confidence I had in my own songwriting ability at the time.
Right. And what's funny though is, you know, 30 something years since I first started playing guitar, when I actually have learned either a bit of a song or a solo or something like that, just the learning of those songs or those sections kind of helped add little, you know, now new little tools to my guitar toolbox.
I was thinking about it backwards back then, right? All it would have done was add to my ability to steal from, you know, like you said, little tidbits. Oh, I didn't know if I did a trill right there, it would end out the measure. And, you know, I don't just have to hold one note. I can go like 1 and 2 and 3, or, you know, 3 and 4 and 1, or, you know.
I think learning how to play on your own and with your own songs helps you kind of get to your own sound years before another guitarist might get to that sound, because they are playing, you know, what's popular, what the standards are, what they're expected to learn how to play.
Yeah. See, now you made my argument in reverse. It's exactly. Like now we did it the right way, right?
And
I agree with your statement. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. But just like the technology statement, there's good sides to it and there's bad sides to it.
Right. When I want to say that there's a bad side, Chris just said something that warmed my heart the other day. He's like, I'm so glad that I get to hang out with you a couple times a week again. I couldn't agree with him more, man. It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
it's changed my life for the better, right? It's somebody that meant something to me on a level that nobody else will, because we shared a stage together. We wrote songs together.
Right.
Super intimate, super humble, super vulnerable, all the words that were right to make a perfect friendship and partnership, right?
Yeah.
You can't recreate those things. So to have done this now, I think you're 179 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sweet.
I've learned so much.
Cool.
He's learned so much. We've gotten to meet great English there, Mike. We've gotten to meet. We've had the pleasure of meeting people like yourself, producers. Like, he's done just such an amazing job at bringing people on here that I would have never thought I would have gotten to talk to.
Yeah.
Right. So do you kind of see exactly like the skill set or the comfortability now on the, like 179 shows in, as opposed to like the first couple? Has it changed at all? Or
with me, for sure. Go back and listen to the first couple, as he's trying to get me to actually talk and be a normal human being, right? He did this on the radio. This was nothing to him, right? And I knew that.
Again, and again, because who I am, extrovert extraordinaire,
even if he had never been on the radio, I know it would be easy, because he fronted a rock and roll band for long time, right?
Yeah.
Do you I think I wrote something in the blog that, I wasn't an extrovert. I was an introvert who decided to become the singer and songwriter and frontman of a band.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a businessman, so I decided to go get my MBA to learn those business skills as well as the artistic skills.
Right.
And I've constantly done things behind everybody when it comes to technology and what's available. And I've constantly, even when I've tried to not do things the hard way, it's like, what am I good at? I'm good at playing guitar and writing songs. Hey, you know what's almost the hardest thing to do in the whole world to make a living is play guitar and write songs. I was like, well, after doing business for so long, I was like, you know what? I'm going to write books. Well,
guess what?
What's top 5? Just almost as hard as music to try and make a living.
Well, that
books.
was my trajectory, man. I went to college to be a writer. I won some awards and got an internship at the Mesa Trip for summer, and realized, well, shit, I don't make any money doing this. So what did I do? I just transferred my major from journalism to theater.
Oh, wow.
Because
that's where the money's at.
Right. So, and then that kind of, ended up molding into the music, because the music I could do all. I could put on the face of the character of the song I wrote. I could act, I could sing, I could portray, I could have all those things that filled that creative side of my head. But then again, it's like being a NFL quarterback. It's 0.0001% chance you're going to get drafted to begin with.
Exactly.
Let alone become a quarterback for one of only 32 football teams in the world on that stage. So it's,
right. So to parrot my comment, which was similar to yours, when I got on Instagram, somebody bashed us for dissing on Kid Rock. And I was like, I didn't know we were in competition. He told us that we were jealous that he was something and we were nothing. And I was like, I didn't know I was in competition with him, but I hope you have a nice day, or thank you for listening. That's what I said. And I mean, I comment on that one too, because they said we were being hypocrites. I'm like, we're not being hypocrites. We're having a conversation. Like, nothing hypocritical about it. We're not. It was purely a conversation. Thanks for How do you feel about
day.
that? The first time being a musician. This is a great question for William. Real quick.
Okay.
How do you feel about him having his own halftime show for the first time ever in the history of the Super Bowl? We're going to use music as a weapon and try to divide the country down the middle. That pissed me off.
I thought that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
And I think it's funny that we're talking about Kid Rock right now, like in 2026. But I remember being in 8th grade and having a friend of mine bring me his like second cassette tape ever. And he's like, "Oh, you'll love this. You'll love this. It's so good. And there's a song on it. He talks about going down on girls. You'll love it." And I was like, I put the tape in and I was like, this is garbage. Like, just was horrible. And then he put out another album supposed to be better, and I never heard about him. And then Devil Without a Cause came out, and I was like, is this the same guy? I was like, it's the same name.
Right.
I was like, there's no way that these guys can be the same guy. Yeah. And sure enough, it was. And I didn't like that album. I didn't like his music. But eventually I was like, you know what? And this is the same way I feel about any musician who's ever made it at any kind of level. At some point, my jealousy or my whatever I think about their music, it just has to go by the wayside. And I have to respect the fact that they kept at it and kept at it and kept at it until they finally got to this point that every musician wants to be at. Every singer, every rapper, every guy with a acoustic guitar playing a barbecue joint on the side of the road. Like,
well, here's what cracked me up real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody was, all I kept hearing is, you know, why is he going to sing in Spanish? Why can't it be in English? English. And I watched the Kid Rock performance because I need to know what I'm dealing with, right? So when they opened up with Ba with the Ba, I'm like, you're bitching about somebody not speaking English and you're watching a performance and they literally started with a song that means that it's not even a fucking word.
Exactly.
It's Ba with the Ba. It's a beat, right?
Yeah. It came from a rap song. Like in 78, 79.
I put my hand on my face and I just started laughing. I'm like, this is where we're at. This is how people think, right? Okay, I give up. You know,
you can't have a world, but you can't have a world anymore without controversy. Nothing can exist without controversy. You have to pit sides against each other. Look at the media. The media doesn't show anything positive anymore. They pick and choose. They're picking and choosing. They're ice. But Trump's, and I'm not getting political. Trump's approach to illegal immigrants is harsh. But every president has done it. Every single president before him has done it. Every single one has deported illegal immigrants without exception.
Right.
Trump just does it in a way that pisses everybody off. And I'm not political. I'm not defending anybody. Obama deported. Mike and I had a show about this probably 50, 60 episodes ago. We broke down the level of deportations per president. Obama crushed them all.
Right.
All of them.
You can't argue
without
with
exception.
We looked them
without
up.
exception. So you watch the news, and I don't watch the news because all the news is clickbait. It's just, here's a little snippet of this chaos. And they want people to react and thread comments and views, and instead of, here's the entire story, here's the pros, here's the cons, here's the summary, here's the resolution. They're like garbage, because they want people feeding them, garbage in, garbage out. There's no rational conversations anymore on those threads, because it's like we talked earlier, James Hetfield having a conversation with President Trump, but you go to the very last line, it's like, oh, this would be great if it happened, but it didn't. But all they see is the first paragraph.
But then there's 800 comments of people arguing about this thing that never really happened.
Right.
Unfucking believable.
Right.
And they had to click on that, which gave the visibility and in a lot of cases, monetization of that post and that user who's probably not even a real human. I know I've seen the same kind of story like posted I don't know how many times, and the actual words that are being said, the actual conversation is exactly the same, but it's with different people.
Yep. Right.
So it might be Troy Aikman with The Girls on the View, or it might be Donald Trump with this and that, and it's just I just don't understand why someone has interest in not reading about that, but like creating that. It's like to create such shit and put it out like times, I don't know, 100 million people.
I'm more concerned about the people.
Better off.
I'm more concerned about the people that are easily led by that, though. At least the person that's putting it out there, he's ambitious, and that requires effort and work. It's a lot of work. Ask Chris. To keep all this stuff moving requires both of us splitting everything right down the middle, and then there's weeks where we barely make it. Because we both have full-time jobs on top of it. So I agree with you, but I always give a little bit of credence to the person that has effort, right? Even if it's evil, I'm always trying to look at the good side, and I'm like, if he would just use that for this, he would be so great, you know?
And that's my point, is if they were able to take that creativity and that hustler's spirit.
But the fact there's 800 people arguing underneath about something that doesn't even exist, they worry me so much.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this kind of social media age, is that it gives people who deserve a voice, but it also gives people who should keep their fucking mouth shut a voice.
Yeah, that's what people hear from me a lot when they say something that I know is utterly ridiculous. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you know?
Right. And unfortunately,
you
it
believe
actually
that?
gives those people the loudest voice. Those are the ones that speak the loudest.
Sure.
You know? But yeah.
All right, boys and girls, we got to wrap this up. To find William Chandler, thewilliamxavierchandler.com.
It's thewilliamxavier.com.
Okay, thewilliamxavier.com, because when you pull it up, your last name's on there too. So thewilliamxavier.com has all the stuff, has the links. It's got his blog, Instagram page. I think it takes you to the ability to buy the books. I said that fast 3 times, right?
It does.
So all in one. I followed you while we were sitting here. Chris and Mike show subscribe to your newsletter. I expect big things from you, William.
Thank you. Hey, just being able to sit here with you guys, you know, this is one of those things that you do, and you build relationships, and you know, I can't wait till I'm going to your state, Chris, and having a book signing, and stopping off. And I'll stop off and see you.
I'll come. We'll have you on the show if it's a Tuesday or a Friday.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It'll be awesome.
So yeah,
him and I have talked about that, to have like, I looked forward to this all day, man. I kept telling people, I always know that with you on the show, we're the least smart people in the group, right? And I mean that affectionately. I do. I look forward to it because you're well spoken. You have great ideas. The questions that I asked of you, I was, pleasantly surprised by your answers, shocked in a couple. I thought maybe you'd go the other way. So I really looked forward to this, and I'm glad you came back. So I wish you success with your book, and I'll be buying both of them because they're both right up my alley. So
then when the next one's getting ready to come out, you're obviously coming back on, so you can talk about that one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
On. Yeah. If you'll have me.
Absolutely.
Damn straight.
So remember, boys and girls, if you're feeling sorrow, sad, depressed, suicidal, don't do it. Tomorrow's a better day with you waking up in it. Don't leave a hole in somebody else's heart because you choose not to, go through your struggles. Go run, go scream, go journal, go work out, go find somebody to talk to. If you can't, text 988. Somebody's there standing by to help talk you off that ledge and get you back in the right state of mind. Tomorrow is a better day with you in it. So remember that. For Chris, I'm Chris. He's Mike. And for William Chandler, the author, WilliamXavier.com. Check him out. Until next time, peace. Love you, brother.
William,
you, man. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time, man. It's appreciated.
Yeah, man.
Time is valuable. Nothing but love, man. Best of luck, too.
Same here, man. Thanks.
Woo!
Oh.
The battle, but you must win.